Hello today and welcome back to Persona 5 Part 96. I remembered the number. This time I did it anyway. Let's do this puzzle. Which, I forgot that this one started with a few blue on the far end. This one might be the most complicated. I'm trying to remember how to do this one. Hope this works. It does. Nice. There's our plate. I'm sort of in like an awkward position right now. Vermilion disc, that's what it's called. Plate, disc, whatever. Same thing. I'm in an awkward position because this might be the episode where some crazy shit goes down. I'm not sure. This is the hardest palace for me to judge in terms of length and time, because obviously it's the one I've done the least. But I've done it enough. But obviously we're at the end. Some crazy shit will go down, whether we want it to or not. Okay, what's the best way to do this? Maybe. Okay. Hopefully this is enough time so I don't go over. I didn't. Perfect. This really isn't that hard, is it? It's... I don't know how to describe it. It's not very good, is it? Like, this is the final palace, and here we are with rather simple puzzles. But yeah, obviously some stuff's gonna go down eventually, because we still don't know what exactly our final boss would be. Or you might not know. I know. You might know. But maybe you don't know. I gotta operate on the assumption that you don't know, so that it's fair for everyone. Oh yeah, that's gonna be enough damage. Or not. I'm super wrong. Oh, but he despaired. That's right. Yusuke has that ability on his weapon.
Good work, everyone.
It's a really good status element to have on your weapon. Nuke amp. Oh my god, what am I going to get rid of for this thing? Increase defense or nullify stat debuffs. I'll go with this one. Because I believe I have that on Joker somewhere.
Okay.
And that's like a rarer instance that you have to use that skill less. Okay. There's an optimal way to go down this, I believe. Oops. Okay, go. There we go. Good job, Joker. Because I want to be able to ambush him from up here. I don't know if I can. Maybe we have to wait for him to go into a corner. Oh wait, there's totally a platform below this. It just wasn't very clear because look how dark it is. So he might walk close enough for me to... or not. This works too. This always works as well. But I gotta say mum about stuff. Gotta try to fill time until we get there. Make the end of this palace worth watching. This is not a good group. Not for my party. Though I do have Magaru dying somewhere on Joker, I believe. No, not Cyanide. I have Garudine. Don't I have Magarudyne? Did I get rid of it? Is that a possibility? No. Bishamonte is the one that has it. I really love the auto select feature that they added, but kind of like a lot of things that are AI determined in Persona, it's overall not smarter than the player. At least it shouldn't be. Kind of like the almost never mentioned tactics system where your party members can fight for themselves, which for some reason is still the default setting when you begin the game and you have to opt in to direct command, which is super weird. I don't know why that was ever a thing.
Okay.
That was Persona 3, in case you didn't know. That P3 they were like, well, the party will act on their own and the player won't be able to control it. I don't know why they did it. My theory was always that they wanted to make it easier that way. That they thought that that would actually simplify the game. Because Persona's always like had the like they've always tried to make Persona like the mass appeal game in terms of like who is it for? Because obviously Megaten was around for a while, for some years before the first Persona came out. And the like original concept of the original P1 of Megami Iburoku Persona was like, well, it's the same kind of game with the same mechanics, but we're going to try to make it for a bigger audience. And the ultimate answer was, but you didn't make it appealing enough. P1 actually sold okay in Japan, but it didn't have any staying power. It was not good enough to where people in Japan were like right there to jump on for P2 or anything. In fact, P1 Megami Iburoku Persona outsold P2 Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment in Japan. Granted, that might have been because of aging hardware. I believe Innocent Sin was 99 and Eternal Punishment was 2000, I think. But the PlayStation was huge in Japan, so I don't think there's really an excuse. So much as maybe the marketing wasn't there. Maybe it's because P1 didn't do well enough for some people in terms of like how good the game was.
Okay. I could have handled that myself.
So P3 kind of like revisited that that notion when Hashino's team eventually adopted Persona with new creators behind it. Still wanted to make it like the let's try to make this popular with everyone. And they did a better job of hitting the nail on the head.
Okay. Show me your true form.
At least in terms of like marketability and whatnot. What's up, Mara? I knew that was going to be Mara, by the way. Okay, not weak to nuke. I don't know if he's weak to anything, to be honest. Maybe it's frickin' Augie? I can't remember. It'd be nice if he surrendered.
If I knew their affinity. Just look for their weakness.
No, I probably could have found out in the Velvet Room. Oh, that's right, I don't have it anymore. Shit.
Don't rush it.
Give up.
Nice.
I'm fine. Not even now. And he has Maggie Dolan, by the way. Holy shit. He's all business. I guess they put Maggie on him to make up for the fact that he also has thrust, which sucks. Just for the jokes.
Okay.
Heal me, please. There's also a guy in a cage there. I'll talk to him after I get rid of you.
Show me your true form.
Oh, and by the way, when you were in Shido's palace, I was talking about being critical of past Persona games, like, oh, everyone has their favorites and whatnot, and I was like, oh, well, some people like P3 and 4 or 5. Some people still hold that P2 is the best, and I never mentioned Persona 1. That's because I hate that game. Okay, hate's a little strong, but I legitimately don't like Persona 1. That's an honest opinion. I'm not gonna give it a free pass just because it's the first Persona game. I really don't like that game. I can think of a lot of JRPGs that came out around the year 1996 that are way better games than that. Even the PSP version, not that great. That's a one and done game for me. Played it once, finished it once. Probably never gonna go back. Not even for the alternate quest, which I guess is the one cool thing that game has. It had like two different like pathways through the game. Okay. One, I believe, like the one I played is canon. What's it called? Like the SEBEC or CBEC or whatever it's called. That's like the main story, but there's an alternate story. Shido, he can do whatever he pleases. I don't really care what kind of guy he is. It won't matter soon enough anyway. I see. She doesn't realize what being governed by someone really means. Ooh. That might be a little commentary on the fact that people don't care about their political system. Please leave me be. And in exchange, I won't request anything of you. Just let me see out the end of this world in peace. I'm curious as to why everyone believes the world is coming to an end. Oh, it's about time we brought that fact up. Oh my god. What could they mean? I mean, yeah, we're down here to, like, get rid of the metaverse and fix the whole problem that, like, we might be arrested, or that the Phantom Thieves are, you know, not being acknowledged or whatever.
Now's our chance. Beat 'em up.
We didn't even talk about the fact that all the people here in this prison think the world's gonna end. What's up with that? What's up with that?
All out attack.
Anyway, P1, that's right. It has a second quest, the, what's it called, Ice Queen quest or whatever?
Not that.
Which wasn't in the original English game. If you're not familiar with, like, P1,
Your breath.
it did get localized back in the day. Back in, I believe it came out the same year America did Japan. I think it was like, well, I know the exact date it came out for Japan. It was September
Didn't
20th,
stand a chance.
96.
Bored now. Go find a strong enemy.
So September 20th, 96. And I want to say it came out in November for America. And that was Atlas USA that localized and published that game. Atlas USA's history is weird in that, like, it changed identities along the way. Because it was Atlas USA, then it got called something else. I can't remember what it was called. Then it got changed back to Atlas USA. Like, not too, you know, in the not too distant past. It's weird stuff. It's confusing. It's really confusing. I might have fucked this up. Oh wait, this one doesn't matter. These are like straight up orange. Oh, this one does matter. Way to prove me wrong immediately. Whoops. Try that again. Try to not fuck it up this time. Bum, bum, bum. Oh man, I'm gonna fuck this up super hard. No, I did it. This one's so small that it's almost intimidating. So yeah, when P1 came out in fall of 96 to America, came out as Revelations Persona, and that game super sucks. That game was heavily altered from the Japanese version. Like, you want to talk about localization changes. Oh my goodness. A lot of things were changed. All the character names were changed. No one was Japanese anymore. They didn't want the game to look Japanese, period. Because they thought that wouldn't sell. Like, super Japanese stuff. Why would anyone buy that? We gotta make everyone look American. So that they can eat their freaking, you know, their rice balls that are actually jelly donuts and whatnot. And their ramen bowls that are hamburgers. So they changed character names, they changed character appearances, they even changed character skin color. One of the party members, Masao Inaba, was changed from being like a Japanese kid wearing a beanie to being a black kid because they thought that was a good idea for some reason. Hope this works still. Okay. I don't know if I did that as efficiently as I could, but it worked. And yeah, that was a really weird localization. Perfect. The security is disabled. About time. Now we can keep moving forward. Nicely done, Joker. Guess what? That's the end of the palace. It's over.
Weak here. There may be a safe room close by.
If you're asking yourself, are you about to beat the game? Like, kinda, but not really.
know there was a
There's
safe
still a
room
lot of
here.
stuff that needs to happen. But, like, dungeon gameplay is basically almost over. Sort of.
do
You'll
it.
see. $108.40. And yeah, like, the P1 localization for the original game's terrible. If you ever want to play Persona 1, then play the PSP version, which is also available for download on Vita. That version is a proper localization. Wow, we get two people at the end. I didn't know they were here. Ugh, tired businessman. Who is to blame for the multitude of problems in the world? I feel sick just thinking about it. All I can really do now is ignore it, I suppose. What a load of shit. Hey, the world's not gonna get better on its own, you know. And timid young man. It's best to just remain stagnant in life. I might lose the one place I belong if I put myself out there. I'm afraid of that happening, so I think I'll just stay as I am.
What?
Your current situation should be what's scaring you. How's he okay with all this? That's a good question. Maybe we'll find out down here at the frickin' bottom. Look how evil this is. Holy shit. The hell is this? It's so big. I can't believe there's such a giant thing all the way down here. Is everyone's treasure inside? Yeah, that should be the case. But this bizarrely ominous air about it, it could be likened to a temple of sorts. There's no point freaking out now. Come on, let's go. Holy shit, does this look evil. Look at this thing we're walking on. Look how evil this is. Some freaking in-game Atlas shit. Remember the first time I saw this place in the Japanese game, because like obviously I was like, where am I and what's happening? This was the kind of the point where the language barrier was getting a little tough, and I was sort of losing myself. Let's talk to these people. I didn't know they were here either. Satisfied man. As long as I have it, I don't need anything else. What's it? Are you the Phantom Thieves? What are you doing here? Keep your hands off it. Almost. It's almost time for my dreams to come true. Everything is coming to an end. My wishes will be granted. I was trying to make him sleepy. I didn't know how to do that other than by yawning. Okay, that's my way down. So let's take a look at this before we go down. What the fuck is that?
This is...
The depths of mementos is likely what waits us down there. Are you ready to descend, Joker?
Yes.
To actually hold on. I should heal up. I should. My SP should be fine. Might want to like have a serious team for this, so I'm gonna go Mikoto, Ryuji, and Yusuke. That's how I usually like to start these actually important in-game fights.
This is...
Let's go.
The hell?
Look at how many there are. Are these all prison cells?
And what's that thing in the middle?
Whatever it is, it looks disgustingly grand.
There are no other passages leading out of this room. It appears this is our final destination. The depths of mementos.
In that case, is the treasure of mementos somewhere in here?
I think you're right. I've never been here, but I can sense it. There's no mistaking that presence. If we get rid of it... If we get rid of it, the public should come to its senses.
But something that large will be impossible to carry out of here.
Just gotta make it disappear, right? If we can't move it, then we'll just have to destroy it.
Yeah, that will work.
Once we do that, the entire metaverse is going to disappear, right? This is finally it.
Oh, I guess it's no surprise we've been discovered. That thing isn't gonna sit back and let itself get destroyed.
Even the inmates are starting to liven up. How eerie. Are they planning something?
That must mean this thing's gotta be the treasure. He saved us the trouble of checking.
Hold on. Something's off. Shido said the masses are allowing themselves to be held captive here. Could they truly be operating this gigantic system that eliminates intruders on its own? Prison guards and soldiers were very organized, too.
Are you trying to say that someone else rules this place? Is it not the public?
What was that?
We don't have time to worry about that. Leave it for later.
All right, guys. We better not lose now. Let's hurry up and destroy this thing. Everyone, give it your all! All right, let's do it.
Back on that rivers in the desert-ish.
All right.
Alright, let's buff ourselves up.
There we go. Persona.
You're probably wondering, what the hell is that thing? It'll be clear soon if you don't know. Don't worry about it too much. Just
Let's go.
sit back and listen to Lin and Shoji Meguro jam out.
Persona.
I'm given the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now.
Shitsune.
My life is over. One strike just a win, then I'm out of his field of vision. I'm ready. Strike him down now. I'm just a new star.
This is my other self.
Persona! Feel my rage!
When I hop off new beginnings, burn the deed. Now we need a happy birthday.
Holy Grail?
Oasis in the season. Remind us of evil. Bring every new life.
What was that?
In the desert.
Don't tell me. Are the inmates giving it their strength?
Damn it! This is never gonna end!
It seems hopeless if there are this many inmates supporting it.
You fools, human, yet wishing to eradicate the desires of humanity.
Who's that?
Repent!
The treasure's talking.
I am revered as the granter of dreams for all who behold me. A being most commonly known as the Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail.
The prison of regression is representative of the collective desires of humanity. They wish to be chained down, surrender their cognition, and neglect the world around them. These feeble-minded common folk will make your social reform all for naught. The shared heart of the masses has fallen into an excess of indolence and transformed into a prison.
Damn it! They're worshiping that thing!
Thus, the only suitable end for them is to perish within the prison they wished for themselves.
Get ready. Here it comes.
Hell yeah!
Damn that thing. Let's break it for sure this time.
So this thing is the Holy Grail. Supposedly.
All right.
Whether or not that's completely true, I guess we'll find out.
Persona!
It's now, it's never, and I've got to make my decision.
This is my other self.
We're about to heal us, so Yusuke, use what HP you can.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No. Did it heal heal again? We can't lose! Keep attacking! Huh? Wait, it's color.
Looks like it's becoming a little bit more lustrous.
Eat this! I am thou.
I'll use my persona! Oh, not again! I knew it. Every time that thing heals, its color changes.
Persona!
Oh yeah, this is getting annoying, isn't it?
Down. Persona! Persona!
Persona! Let's go.
I appreciate it.
This is our holy grail! Wait! Hold up! It's gonna get totally healed again! No fair! This is cheating!
Now that looks more like a holy grail, doesn't it?
Stop that, you thieves!
If this is really how people feel, there's no way we'll be able to steal their hearts. We've come here for nothing. This is horrible.
You imbeciles are intoxicated by an undesired justice. This is the will of the children of man who have fallen into sloth. My shine is proof that they desire my existence. As long as humanity yearns for me, I shall never perish.
Is this really what everyone wants? Stop thinking and be guided by the Holy Grail? Yes. It's so frustrating. It makes me want to cry. But I will never agree. The humans I look up to aren't like that. No matter how painful reality is, it's all over if you don't try to change how things are. I'm not the only one who believes that. Everyone here agrees. We don't want to turn back into the people we used to be. That's why we risked our lives coming here. Mona-chan. He's right.
Humanity already wishes for their distortions to be actualized. I am merely the being that will ultimately grant those wishes. Now, it is time I refrain from my place in this world and begin to encroach upon reality itself.
That's a load of shit!
Encroach? What is it gonna do? Hey, this doesn't look good!
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Mona, what should we do?
I don't know what you are, but you can't keep arbitrarily deciding all this on your own. Humans aren't all stupid like you say they are!
Indolent, foolish humans, you shall offer your hearts to me. Now, the time for the fusion has come.
Hey, the ground's...
It's vanishing?
Hell no!
Huh? Who's that? No way. I see. So that's how it was. I remember everything now.
Ow! Is everyone okay?
Of course we are!
Oh, hey! Our clothes are back to normal! Look! Huh? Shibuya?
We're back.
We didn't come back ourselves, though. We must have been driven out by the Holy Grail. Did we lose? No. Huh?
Mementos here in Shibuya? Is this what it meant by the fusion?
What's going on here? What is... God, how come they're not seeing any of this at all?
What the hell?
To think this would happen.
No way! You gotta be shitting me!
Huh? What is this, a dream?
The hell is this? What's going on? Kaoru. Kaoru!
Is this scenery? For real?
What on earth? This is impossible. Why doesn't anyone notice this?
Damn, looks like I should take this seriously.
Huh? No way! Wait, what the... What's this pink stuff? Huh? No. Something wrong has happened to the world.
What's going on here?
What the hell's happening here?
I can't believe this. Why is everyone acting normal? Don't they see this? I hope those kids are safe.
Unbelievable. This isn't a world inside a game, right? Everyone else isn't seeing this?
Man, what great weather. Want to go for a drive?
Hello. Yes, it's about tomorrow's preliminary meeting.
The announcement for the new smartphones tonight.
What were the Phantom Thieves all about anyway?
Oh man, hearing that brings back memories. I feel so dumb for even believing they existed.
It was fun news, though. Well, I doubt anyone believes they're around anymore.
Why isn't anyone noticing this abnormality?
It's probably because they don't feel that it's odd.
What's wrong?
Oh, I feel woozy.
Futaba, grab on! Anchan?
Holy Grail too?
That son of a bitch! God damn it! What's this creepy ass shit about? Ah! Ah! My hand!
Ryuji! This can't be real, right?
What is happening to us?
No! No! My body's disappearing! Don't tell me.
Indeed, this isn't my doing. You imbeciles are about to disappear from the people's cognition.
That damn voice!
Mementos and reality have become one. Thus those who have disappeared from cognition cannot exist anywhere.
Disappear my ass! What the hell? Yeah! Is this really it?
No! No! Morgana, where did we go wrong? Is this all my fault? Because I brought you all there? Damn it! I'm sorry. The mission's a failure.
In the end, your rehabilitation was not carried through. It appears I have underestimated you.
You incompetent prisoner!
The assistance that we provided was all for naught.
Humans are more apathetic and more foolish than I had thought them to be. The world will soon see its ruin. You have lost the game. You were meant to bring change to mankind as a trickster, but it seems that was too much for you. In accordance to the game's rules, the defeated must pay a price. Your life is forfeit. I sentence you to be executed.
Executed?
God's decree is absolute. My experiment has come to naught. Everything is over. Grant that man a swift death.
If that's what our master wishes. It just means that you weren't an upstanding prisoner. That may be true, but...
What is the matter? Carry out his sentence at once.
Are we really going to kill him? Don't falter now! It's all his fault for losing the game! All right, inmate. We now proceed to the execution of your sentence.
They're going to kill me at this rate. I need to do something.
How insolent. To think you'd still show your rebellious will after all that. Ready, Justine?
If our master orders so, then it cannot be helped.
Let us show our strength to this prisoner who just doesn't know when to give up.
Understood.
Death to the criminal. Don't resist, inmate. Just accept your sentence.
One's final moments should be spent in good grace.
How's this?
Take this. This power. Caroline, it's as I thought.
What's the matter?
I told you not to falter. Are you going against our master's orders? Eat this!
Here goes. No, this isn't right. Our duty isn't to kill him. Caroline!
What gives? Why am I doubting myself?
Is there another duty left to us?
I believe I ordered his execution.
Master, have you forsaken humanity? We are wardens, those who rehabilitate prisoners.
What?
Something speaks to me in my mind. Our true duty is not to kill. Help!
I can hear someone's voice.
Please, help!
This voice. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. This is the same voice that you hear at the end of the interrogation in the prologue.
Who? Yes, we are those who wish for true rehabilitation. We are not executioners. That is the truth we had forgotten.
We've decided. We will not forsake humanity.
Your right eye and my left. It's as if they're the same, yet mirrored. Now is the time for our wish to be realized. I finally remember
How we were torn apart.
We were originally one. Yet we were torn asunder into halves by malevolent intent.
So we were captives, same as you. Huh. To think we'd learn that truth from a prisoner.
Let us reclaim our true form.
Hey, we'll give you your last job. Be thankful and obey.
You must fuse us together with your own hands.
It's time you return the favor for us assisting with your growth. Do it with care.
Now, fuse us!
My name is Lavenza. I was torn apart by a malevolent will and took the form of those twins. I sought help before my body was split in two. If we lose you, the path to the Holy Grail will forever be closed. That's why you must recall the truth once more. And I beg of you, please, save us. I believed in you. I knew that you would make it thus far. And to the scoundrel who has swindled my master's name, your lies shall work no longer now that my sight has been restored.
The game isn't over yet. Whether the human world is left as is, or destroyed and rebuilt, it is all sport to me.
Be careful.
If I were to put it into words that you can comprehend, I am the Holy Grail that grants wishes. No, it may be more accurate to say that I am a god who responds to desire and holds dominion over man. I hoped seeing a righteous thief vanquish evil would spur mankind to change their own indolent hearts. However, the result is, as you know, the masses have made it so none of it has transpired. Humans should be met with ruin. You brought forth that answer. But to be frank, inmate, I believe it may be worth re-evaluating you. A human has reached the Holy Grail and has seen through my true identity. You've surprised the god that I am often enough. That cannot be done by a foolish commoner. You truly were a prisoner that did not bore me.
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast turned a vow into a blood oath. Thy bond shall become the wings of rebellion and break the yoke of thy heart. Thou hast awakened the ultimate secret of the fool, granting thee infinite power.
Full rank 10, Max Arcana Burst, greatly increases the EXP bonus granted by Arcana Burst. And as you can notice, may have heard just now, the voice that has always played for our Establishment and Max Confidant ranks was always Lavenza all along. Persona 5's true one, actual Velvet Room attendant.
All right.
And Vishnu has been unlocked for fusion.
Perhaps observing you a while longer may prove amusing. I shall grant you an opportunity to make a deal with me. Should you wish it, I shall return the world to its prior state, one rampant with distorted masses.
Revert the world. Could it be telling the truth?
You forcefully dragged him into the metaverse and imposed an ordeal he did not deserve. Yet you still intend on toying with him?
The Phantom Thieves will be praised and gain fame. The world will escape ruin as well. What say you?
If I agree to this, the ruined city will return to normal. However, the people will remain trapped, abandoning their ability to think for themselves. Is that really how the world should be? Now obviously, if you say very well, you will head straight toward the final unique bad ending of the game, which is very, very unique. However, I believe it happens without your teammates. Joker escapes, but I don't think the rest of them do. We won't be seeing that ending in this series, but it's out there.
Well said.
Such irredeemable foolishness. You choose death for yourself. Very well. I have no need for
Master!
Oh my. It's been quite a while since I last stepped foot in this place. Welcome to the Velvet Room. My name is Igor. I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
He is the rightful master of this Velvet Room, the true aid on your journey.
It may be difficult for you to understand this all at once.
If I were to summarize this, the fake has left, and the real has returned.
Indeed.
My master has returned, and you won against that malevolent god's temptation. Thus, you may be able to save this world that is headed towards certain ruin. However, it will prove difficult to win against him with your power alone. You must release your teammates, with whom you've shared your conviction.
This place exists between dream and reality, mind and matter.
They have not necessarily expired yet. Just as you were trapped here, they should be confined somewhere as well. Since you've deepened your bond with them, I am certain you can release them. Once they, the Phantom Thieves, are all gathered here, we will tell you everything.
Now go forth, to the people whom you should be facing the truth with.
The other Phantom Thieves should be imprisoned somewhere ahead. Please find them. Save them. This is something only you can do. I want to check the numbers on these cells. So they go from 0 through 13. That had never piqued my interest until now, during that cutscene. So you may be super confused if you aren't like a diehard Persona fan. At the very beginning of this LP, I talked about the situation with Igor and his voice actor, but I will repeat it now, and I will be able to do it in far better context, and while being much more open and honest. So Igor is the lone recurring character in the Persona series. He's been around since P1. He has always been in charge of the Velvet Room. Technically, there's even someone behind Igor, but that's another topic. Don't worry about that. Anyway, so Igor is the one lone recurring character, and ever since Persona 3, Igor had one voice actor in Japan, a kindly old gentleman by the name of Isamu Tanonaka, who sadly passed away in 2010. Now from that moment forward, anytime there was anything Persona related that needed Igor's voice acting, previous recordings were recycled from Persona 3 and 4. So we're referring to Persona 4 Golden, obviously, Persona 4 the animation, Persona 4 the Golden animation, Persona 4 Arena, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, and even the Persona 3 the movie series. Anytime Igor spoke in those in Japanese, they were recycled lines of Tanonaka's from previous years. Now in English, Igor's voice actor for P3 and 4 and the continuing universe, except for Ultimax, I think, was Daniel Warren, a regular American dude, I believe. So, with Persona 5, there became a problem, obviously, in development, which is, it's a new Persona game, it's a new entry, we gotta have new voice acting, which means it's time for Igor to have a new Japanese voice. Japanese Persona 5 Igor is voiced by Masane Tsukuyama, who obviously, just as the English voice throughout most of this game, the imposter Igor, has a very dark and brooding voice. It was revealed at the end of PVO 4 that the dark voice, that very deep voice that had been in like PVO 3 was actually Igor's. The trailer ends with him saying in Japanese the famous line of "Welcome to my Velvet Room." And as a diehard Persona fan who's well aware of all this voice acting situation and the fact that the Japanese Igor had passed away years ago, this was really understandable. It wasn't that big a deal because, I mean, what else could they do? And plus with P5 having this character who's like the Phantom Thief, who was wrongly convicted as a criminal, and the new Velvet Room being a prison, we were all kind of like, this makes sense. This is a logical step to take Igor, right? No big deal. So we never really batted an eye, the diehard fan base. Like, this is natural, this was to be expected. And then we played through the game, and we knew the relationship was going to be a little different. I mean, because this, like, Igor had to be different, it wasn't as big surprise that he had a much different voice, rather than, like, trying to go for one that was really similar to the original Igor. This is kind of like a thing that Japanese media does. So, no suspicions, play through the game, perfectly normal, whatever, he's Igor, he's the full Arcana now he's the full Confidant, Social Link, whatever. No big deal. And then we get to this endpoint in the game where Igor starts acting a little funny, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And then this scene happens, and it turns out that the Igor in the game was a total fake, and is actually the final boss, obviously. Oh man. And of course, when this scene happens in Japanese, in the Japanese game, and the real Igor shows up, it is once again the voice of Isamu Tanonaka, and it's once again recycled lines from P3 and 4, which is why in that previous scene he didn't actually do most of the talking. Lavenza did most of the talking, and it's going to happen again in the coming scene. He doesn't do too much talking, because obviously the lines they have for this dude are pretty limited. Very clever of Atlas Japan to still find a way, somehow, to fit Tanonaka into the game. I suspect this was probably the idea no matter what. No matter what Persona 5 was going to be, whether it was going to be a game about backpacking or the Phantom Thief game, that ultimately they were probably going to pull this trick no matter what. Now, as an additional note, a little unfortunate as a diehard American Persona fan, the English voice for Igor that pops in, the real Igor there, is not the original voice of Daniel Warren. It is, what's his name, if I can find it? I don't know. Maybe it's not listed. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's listed whatsoever. Well, it's not on Behind the Voice Actors, because I'm fairly certain that the actor that is listed under Igor for Persona 5 English is the voice of the imposter, David Lodge. At least I think that's the case. Now, it could be... Let me look up what his name is really quick. I apologize for taking up your time here. That might be the voice, I'm not sure, of Vic Migogana, or whatever his name is, Vic Mignosia, something like that, who's the English voice of Junpei Iori from Persona 3. I believe he filled in and voiced Igor in Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, because Igor might have had like a handful of new lines in that game, which is weird. I don't know what they did for the Japanese on that side. At least I think that's the case. I might be super wrong about this. Whatever. It was only like a few lines. If it's not him, then I apologize. Anyway, the point is that it's not the original English Igor that pops in during that scene. And you can imagine my disappointed when I heard that. It was like, well, what the fuck, you know? It's not like Daniel Warren's dead or anything. Like, I don't know why Atlas USA didn't get him. Maybe he was too busy. Maybe they couldn't afford it. I don't know. Why didn't they perhaps just follow Atlas Japan's use and awkwardly make use of old lines of his from Persona 3 and 4 and 4 Golden? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I really wish Atlas USA would have just stepped back and been like, yo, like, even if he couldn't record new lines, been like, come to him and whoever represents him and been like, we will pay the licensing fees to reuse these lines, whatever. You'll get your royalties, just let us reuse them for a new game. But who knows, maybe it's possible that Atlas USA didn't have the recordings anymore. In which case I would say then, like, freaking data mine the old games, do something, because it really should have been his voice in that scene, but it wasn't. And as much as sometimes people like overly criticize this game's localization because, oh, well, this one sentence is weird, or I don't like this one character's voice, it's getting a little nitpicky. But this scene, with what they did with English Igor, I would point out as being a localization shortcoming that they should not have gone the route that they should have, and they should have done whatever they could have to put Daniel Warren into this game one way or another. Anyway, I know I spent the last few minutes of this episode talking, but that's because I knew if I progressed forward, the pacing was going to get really weird. We gotta go find our teammates. They're back there hanging out in the back of the Velvet Room. They're in their own cells. We're going to go find them and talk to them and smack some sense into them to, get them to rejoin the fight. And then we'll all come over and have a nice chat with real Igor and Lavenza and see where we take it from there. We got a big last stretch coming in front of us, as well as their ultimate final fight. By the way, I'll add this little nugget in as a little additional fact, because this episode's going to go a little long, and I know I spent the last of it talking. Lavenza as a character, the name Lavenza. Well, in the original Personas, Persona 1 and P2 duology, the Velvet Room had a bunch of attendants. It was mainly just Igor who was important, but there were these other people hanging out in the Velvet Room. It was like a lounge, and all your teammates would go into the Velvet Room with you. It was kind of like a social club where you could get new personas and whatnot. Very different than how it turned out to be in P3, 4, and 5, where it was just the hero. It was just the hero's location, because the wild card and whatnot. Anyway, P3 and 4 and 5 all have their own Velvet Room attendants, and if you don't know who the previous ones are, then I won't say who they are, just in case you want to meet them yourself in your own time. But every Velvet Room attendant, I believe every one of them, maybe except for one, since then, has all had names that, trace back to Shelley's Frankenstein, and Lavenza being one of them. So that's where she got her name, by the way, and I should have seen it coming, too. With that knowledge, I had that knowledge before I played P5. I should have known that maybe there was something up with that. Oh, and one more little detail. This is something that people tried to be really, look at how smart I am. I'm going to try to subtly spoil things for people before they get to play Persona 5 because I looked it up on the internet or whatever. This is something that they did that with. But in Caroline and Justine's design to kind of give you the hint that there's something a little off with them, and obviously we saw it during their confidant, and which is why I was kind of mum about all the details in their confidant and the weird happenings that was going on with them. You got to let people look into that themselves. Yeah, strangely enough, the quest confidant actually one of the most important in terms of the true story. But in their design on their hats, they have a series of letters. If you combine the two hats, it spells out oxymoron, because that's what they are, in the sense that they shouldn't exist. And overall, their personalities are extreme cliches to the two opposite ends, because they're two halves of the same person. They're Lavenza, which is very cool. And obviously, they're super strong, by the way. As we saw, they kicked my ass. How could anyone hope to ever beat them? Anyway, that'll do it for this one. And the next one, again, we'll go find our teammates. We'll set up for the last stretch of the game. Are we going to hit episode 100? I'm not quite sure. It might go to 99. Let's see, this is 96. It might go to 99, unless I cut content or something and make them shorter than an hour. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next one, and have a good one. This is it. We are about to see the true climax of Persona 5.